Yeah. So what? It's your boy, Bits and Bobs. Yes, people. Another episode of Bits and Bobs Meets. Listen, today we got a Spurs fan in the building. What else can I say about us? We've got our own YouTube channel. She's riding the female train for solidarity and equality for female YouTubers to do their thing. Yeah, and also I know I already said, but she is a Tottenham fan. So listen, not everyone is perfect, but what can we do? Listen, everyone, Melisa Ceballos. Everyone knows her as Mel from Ceballos TV. Good evening. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Of course. It's all love. It's all love. So talk to me. Ceballos TV. What is that?
It's just, a
What do
platform
you mean
I
it's
created.
just? It's a bit of a big deal. It's a bit of a big deal.
Do you know what? I've always been quite a very opinionated football fan. So I thought, you know what? Let's just, I had a lot of people telling me, like, suggesting, why don't you do a YouTube? So a lot of it was peer pressure. But we're here, and yeah, I'm just pushing, as you said, female empowerment in the football game. Show that females have have a voice as well. So yeah, and then I created it, Sabella's TV.
So Ceballos TV. Obviously, that's your name. Okay. So where is your name from?
It's from the Philippines. So I think I said this in one of my videos. I'm tired of people assuming I'm repping Danny Ceballos. It doesn't really make sense when you think about it, does it? But yes, so my name is Melisa Ceballos, and it's a Spanish name, and it's from the Philippines, and that's where, well, I'm half. That's where my mother's from. So yeah.
So do you speak Spanish?
Sorry.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not fluent, but I can speak a bit of Tagalog, which is
Oh, wow.
one of the main languages in the Philippines. But a lot of the words kind of derive from Spanish, or it's very similar to Spanish because of the colonization. So.
Yeah. So quick question. So what is it like being where you're from and living where you live?
I can't really say like I have like a unique experience in a sense where a lot of people don't really know where I'm from. I think even when I told you where I was from, you was like, oh, really? Yeah, because obviously me being a lot of half Filipinos maybe pass for a more Spanishy look or, something else. A lot of people assume I'm Cypriot. So it's interesting. And I feel like there's not really like a Filipino community like that in the UK. Like, the community, there's a big South Asian community. I don't think we really have, much unity within the Filipino community. So I'm just kind of floating in limbo, really. But yeah.
So when people from your community do see you talk about football, surely you must think, yeah, I'm waving the flag for my community. I'm doing something, listen, Jeremiah, she is, she is. I'll give her that.
Thank
She
you.
is consistent. I'll give her that 100%. So obviously, okay, you're half Filipino. Okay, you're a Tottenham fan. Okay. So do you know what? Let's not. We've got the pleasantries. We spoke on the phone. We've chatted. We've got to know each other a little bit. Your beautiful daughter. Unbelievable.
Thank you.
We need to address the situation, and when I say address, we need to normalize talking about this out in trolls that target female YouTubers. I can only talk about female YouTubers because I don't speak to that many female celebrities. So I'm speaking to you because you're a female YouTuber. What's that like, Mel? To be trolled?
It's not easy at all. I'm not, even before the YouTube, I'm not really new to getting trolled. I had it a lot on Twitter, but it's just a completely different ball game where you're putting your face out there. So, and your whole being really, your face, the way you speak. So it kind of, people who would have trolled you already, like on Twitter, it opens up the floodgates for a whole different realm of things for people to pick apart. I've had my face picked apart. I've had my voice picked apart. It's a lot. I'm someone who's usually got very thick skin. I know how to stick up for myself, but when it's just hundreds and hundreds, I'll reply to 10 people. I refresh my mentions, and then it's just another 100 people coming through. And I just can't fight 100 people at once. It's not easy, but when I get messages from, other female football fans telling me they enjoy watching my stuff, and even if they don't have the confidence to do it themselves, they draw inspiration from it, and it's something they're watching. I just say, you know what, I'm just going to take this on the head and know that I'm doing it for the women and the women of color in particular. I'm very, as I said, quite white passing, so a lot of people may not know where I'm from, but it hasn't stopped the trolls. You know, I've still been at the end of comments calling me a chink, saying I need to get washed up by a hurricane in the Philippines, even though we don't have hurricanes. You've got more chance of a hurricane hitting England.
Yeah, than actually the Philippines. Yeah, if you know your geography. Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, it's sad, and it's funny because do you know what? Everyone is observant, and when I first met you and spoke to you on the phone, I asked you, "Oh, where are you from?" Because I could tell, you know, first of all, Melisa Ceballos doesn't sound very Anglo-Saxon, does it? Do you know? So for me, it's just like, oh, where are you from? I can look at you and see your features and be like, yeah, you're mixed. You know, you've got something in, which is the beautiful thing, isn't it? Because first time we talk, you're embracing your culture on me. You know, you're saying, oh, this is where I'm from. This is what we do. This is how we do things. And going back to the trolls and stuff, I don't understand, and I've said this to people before, how someone can sit at their desk or sit at home, sit wherever, log into your Twitter, type in Ceballos TV, yeah, and then start trigger fingers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just like being at you, just saying nice, big up, Michael. Thank you so much, mate. Big up to you, bro. Yeah, I just don't understand it. Like, is the hate? You know, are they just unhappy? But then, you know, me and you have spoke about it. We can't be humble about these things because there is nothing humble about it to be trolled by social media, to be trolled verbally, emotionally, and mentally. And I have to ask you again, Mel, you know, when you see that happening, you've told me how it feels. What do you want to do? Like physically, like what do you want to do? Like, do you want to like fly up in sand, or do you want to run away, or what? Physically, what do you want to do?
I mean, physically, I'd love to fight them, but unfortunately, we can't do
that. Come on.
I do not condone violence.
Liar.
Do you know what? Initially, I really did just want to pack it up. You know, I just said, is this worth it? You know, I go through the stress of filming, of editing, of posting, just to get that. So yeah, initially I was like, why am I doing this? But then I started thinking, still to this day, even today, I got another comment on that YouTube video of someone who's come back to troll it again.
Oh my goodness.
I'm taking it a compliment at this point, you know, that you're thinking, you saw the video initially, you know, however long later, a month later, you've gone back on YouTube, Ceballos TV, and put some more comments. So at this point, I'm just going to take it as a compliment, you know?
Yeah. I think it's. I see it as an excuse to look at you personally. I do. I think. Some people are shallow. Good excuse to look at you. Don't get me wrong. I just hope it was a positive one. But do you know when I'm saying that? So like when you felt like quitting, okay, and this is where I feel like the community need to come in leaps and bounds and just be like, oh no, don't stop, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to stop because as soon as you go quiet on your content, they move on to the next one, don't they? And we can't have that. What you need to do, in fact, not just you, but every person needs to do, whether it's male or female or whatever anyone identifies as, you know, you need to just keep going. You know, you need to keep going. I'll tell you a story. I remember when first time on, most of these trolls are ones happy with their life, face like those paying attention. Exactly, Michael. God bless you, man. 100%. I remember my first time on the terrace, and I've told you this before, and someone was like, bits and butters. I was like, what? I was like, really? I was like, mine's all right, you know. I know I ain't had a trim, but raw. And that knocked me back, and I'm a confident guy.
Do you know what? One thing I will say is a lot of people say you're not getting trolled just because you're a girl. You know, men get trolled. Troops gets trolled for the way he talks. Some guys get trolled for the way they look. And I just think, is that a valid excuse? None of this should be happening at all.
Exactly.
You can't just say, oh, you know, you suck it up because everyone else does. No one should be going through it. I'm not just speaking from a woman perspective. I'm speaking for anyone who is brave enough to be a content creator, put their face out there. And, you know, say what they're saying. A lot of these troll accounts, as Michael said in the comments, they can't do it themselves. So
100%.
it's not just about, I mean, the sexism is a separate issue, but when it comes to getting trolled, guys shouldn't be going through it either. No one should.
And you know what you say about the way troops talk, so the way people look, or your content, blah. Why do you care? Why do you care? Do you know what I mean? Hold tight, Mr. Flawless. Yo, see this guy, guys. The devil works hard, but Flawless works harder. Trust me. I just think, right, what does... Look at this question, my guy. Oh, she's still not complimented me. But anyway, we move. No, but like, do you know... But the thing is, yeah, Mel, right? All talk saying, do you know when you go into a takeaway or a restaurant, a foreign restaurant, you already know if it's an Italian one, you know there's a good potential that someone's going to be there that speaks Italian or has an accent and stuff.
Yeah.
Why does it bother you? Why are you in their space? Why are you there then if that offends you? Why are you watching troops if the way he speaks offends you? Why are you watching yourself if the way you look offends people with what you're talking about? This is the thing, yeah. My generation, if you've not got nothing good to say, you don't say nothing at all. You know, and I just feel the new generation is fearless. They don't care. It's like literally they don't care and they'll say anything. But with this Twitter thing, okay, I see people with their Twitter and, you know, I see people trolling, but I look at the profile pictures. It's like football players. It's like, you know what I mean? Characters. And I'm like, well, okay, show your face then. Do you know what I mean? If you do you know what? Yeah, I'll give you an example. Donald Trump is a racist. Okay, he is a racist. Everyone knows that. He doesn't hide his face. He says it with his chest, blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool. At least I know that's what you are, and that's your face. Twitter needs something like a verification. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? On a verification to show these people that do come on, you can be like, oi, this is flipping, I don't know, John Smith from flipping ABC Street or something.
I definitely think there needs to be a big crackdown, you know, on Twitter and how they deal with things. The verification one is an idea because there was a comment I got and it was about, I don't want to trigger anyone, but it was about saying I should have been sexually assaulted. And then they never got anything, by the way, like suspended. And then one of my friends, a fellow Tottenham fan, made a tweet saying, sticking up for me, condemning the abuse and saying, you know, Mel has been told to get assaulted and it's out of line. Twitter deleted him, deleted the tweet, like put him in Twitter jail for it. So it's like Twitter just needs to crack down on...
What, Twitter jail? Is Twitter doing Monopoly now, yeah? 3 rounds and you can get to go for free or something. Is that what Twitter doing?
Sorry, I just read that. But no, it's true. Like I feel like on Twitter, I mean, it's not a new thing because people were doing this, you know, on MySpace. They were doing it on 4chan. I would never used 4chan, but I've heard about it. It's just a lot of people have this false sense of security, you know, behind anonymity. Is that the word? Anonymity? I hope so. This false sense of security that they can just say what they want. And I made a tweet. I don't know if it, do you know what? I don't even care how it comes across if it makes you feel inferior. Twitter has given people a playground and it gives people a false sense of equality. We share this app with idiots. We share this app with pedophiles. We share this app with all kinds of people. And we wouldn't know that, especially the ones that are hiding behind different names or hiding behind, you know, different pictures, as you said, football
pictures, aliases, everything.
You know, and this is what annoys me about people saying, you know, oh, just ignore it. You know, there was one time when I wrote my blog about these kind of issues, I put one of my stories in there. I won't tell it again, but essentially it was a troll account that was saying all sorts of things. He was calling me the spawn of Satan. He was saying I need to get sexually assaulted. And he always, every time I got him suspended and he made a new account, he had this abbreviation in his bio. And I went on the website and it was this whole cult website of all women need to die, this, that. And it's like, okay, you need to ignore the comments, but...
Where did he come from? Who gave birth to him? do you know, that's the thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, real talk, though. Like,
it's true, but his mum needs to have a word with him. But you know, it's easy to tell people to ignore these kind of comments, but you don't know what kind of psychopaths are behind this account.
Yes, true. And does that make you? Great segue to go into your mental health. And just before we go, guys, if you're watching, please like and subscribe. I always forget to say that, Mel. You know, the like and subscribe. I always forget to say it. But we've got #chas here. Twitter starts getting people to verify their identity and use their real name on it. Trolls will always exist. People hide behind the football and with a fake name and do this all. Yeah, 100%, mate. Thanks for the comment. Hope you've liked and subscribed. Simon Scott, I think this is one of your guys. Patiently waiting regular mail vids on our channel. Talk sense of sport analysis. Come on, you Spurs. There you go. See, the support is there. Usman talks United. Let's go, Bobz. Man like Usman. Mel, and I've got a nice message here from Flawless for you, actually. Complete side note, Tobias is looking good. I have to give her your flowers, girl. Jeez. Hey. Actually, let me say it like Flawless would say it. Jeez. Got to do it. And then, so sorry for this. Just, obviously, we've got Harris here. We're coming for revenge on White Hart Lane for that 6-1 you gave us. All right, Harris, listen, we'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get to that. You've got to get chopped up. Trust me. Twitter jail a thing. I've done a couple of bids. But yeah, so like, I mean, we're talking about obviously like the trolling and stuff. And, you know, this is not to trigger people or females. Like, you know, some may say some females are more emotional than men or vice versa, you know, and it's tough. If you don't know the individual, you don't know, right? Mm-hmm. So for you mentally, okay, how did you cope?
It was kind of an internal battle with myself. I mean, I'm someone who's had a very roller coaster journey with mental health, I would say. So when I'm already kind of going through things, going through that, it's just like a cherry on the cake, you know. And as you said, people don't know who you're typing this kind of stuff to. They don't know what you're going through, or they could probably suspect, but they don't really care, you know. So it wasn't hard. Some of the comments I got was very triggering in terms of, you know, past traumas for me.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't easy. I did briefly until I said to myself, the reason I deactivated is I saw it as I delete the app and all these idiots disappear with it. You know, I don't have to put up with this. I can log out. Like, Twitter's not my life like a lot of these trolls. I can turn the app out my day. However, I said after I deactivated, I was getting sent tweets of people celebrating my departure. So there were troll accounts doing, you know, Ronaldo's celebration gifts. So Ceballos is gone, and I said, my pride was really kicking me in my ass because I thought it's very cliche, but you know, you can't let them win. So I said no.
Yes, but it's the truth, though, isn't it, Mel? Isn't it? You can't. I mean, do you know one thing I say about schools? Yeah, is that, you know, we're taught maths, English, science, chemistry, biology, all these other subjects. Yeah, but we're not taught how to deal with emotions. We're not taught how to deal with mental stress. You know, I know some schools reward people for taking part. No, if you lose, you lose. Learn rejection. Learn how to deal with rejection. Learn how to deal with winning. Because you know, you get told, go to school, behave, what do you want to do, blah, blah. You get older, you become an adult, you've got bills. You need to make money, blah, blah. How do you cope with that? The mechanism. There's no coping mechanism. And not everyone's got money for a psychiatrist. Not everyone's got money for a social worker. You know, don't even get me started on the public sector. They're already, you know, stressed as it is. So it's tough, you know. And then we have lockdown, 2020 lockdown. So what I'm going to say to that, just to conclude on the mental health part, is that, like, I salute you. I think what you've done is amazing to come back. I think you're very brave to talk about it. This is what people don't realize, that when you talk about these things, you're actually reliving a trauma that's happened to you individually. And you're now talking about it, sharing it with people. And I salute you for that. And I hope many more people can watch this, male or female, and speak to someone about it and speak, because I say this, a problem half shared is a problem half solved. Do you know what I mean? 100%. We're going to segue to lockdown. Okay. Now, football, work life, parenthood, just all around everything, lockdown 2020. I mean, what were you doing? Were you pulling your hair out? Were you homeschooling? Like, what was going on?
In all honesty, lockdown's been very hot and cold for me. You know, in a sense, it hasn't been easy. I mean, due to the virus in general, I lost my job. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's just fine, thank you. But lockdown's given me the chance to do things that I wouldn't have done otherwise. You know, it's given me a bit of put a stick up my bum, you know, for productivity. So I redecorated my room. You can see in the background. I've done a lot. I wallpapered, painted it, everything. I would have never done that otherwise. I created my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is actually something I've been sitting on for a good few years now. I've been saying I wanted, but it just never happened. I've just been busy, and lockdown is one thing, you know, well, the main factor that gave me
I've done the same, mate. I've done the same.
You can't run away. But, yeah, lockdown gave me, you know, that stick up the bum to do things that I wouldn't have done otherwise. So yeah, doing my room, my YouTube channel. But again, it hasn't been easy because I'm someone, I cope with my mental health issues by going out, by having my daughter out, and I just haven't been able, you know, to do any of that. Only recently my daughter's not been going to school. It has been hard because, you know, I've got to keep her occupied in the house, which is hard to do because everything's so limited. So yeah, it has been very hot and cold. I've been struggling, but then at the same time, you know, I've been quite productive. So yeah.
Go you. And, you know, it's tough, isn't it? Do you know, I think, you know, 2020 has taught me, don't take things or people for granted because, and be humble, because we were told by a government, you can't go out. Literally, you can't go out, don't socialize. And it's like, for some reason, the British people, and I'm included in this, right? Well, we both are. It's like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going to go out. What? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to go in, see the guys, or see the girls. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to do stuff. But you actually physically couldn't. And, you know, as a kid growing up, and I can only talk for the African household, I was like that to everyone. I was like, well, we've prepared for this because that's what we had to do. If we weren't playing sports after school, you went home. That was it. And you stayed in for the next again day. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I remember things like MSN, Bebo, BBM and stuff like that. Like, the youngsters these days will not know what it's like to be at home or even ask someone, "Oi, can you give me a free text?" You remember those O2 free text messages and stuff?
I don't think I remember that.
Oh, what you trying to say? Oh, in fact, you're younger than me, aren't you?
23, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm 31. So for those of the 89ers, yeah, 89ers in the house, yeah, come on. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. And for me, it was tough. I was just like, wow. And the reason I say I'm humble now, because I think there's so many things I don't need to do to get by. And the one thing I have to remember, the world stops for no one. Do you know what I mean? And when I say that, I mean, for when you say, shout out, man, like, sorry, when you say, like, you're not going to let them win and stuff, because when you go to bed, you wake up, it's a new day. The sun comes up, the sun comes down. The world does not stop for anyone. So why should you stop for someone? Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Yeah, 100%, 100%. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Spurs. Trophyless club. I mean, yeah, Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. So, okay, let's get out of the way. You guys packed us 6-1. I'm not going to lie, Mel. It was a sad, sad day for me. I think I went to bed.
Yourself. I was having a great time.
So we went 1-0 up, right? Within like the first minute. What was your thoughts then?
I was happy, but you know, when you support a club like Tottenham, you learn not to get complacent. Yeah, one goal, but it's a matter of, are we going to hold on to this? So after the first goal, I was still very on edge.
So you obviously, okay, full time, you win 6-1. Yeah. Talk to me. Did you think, yes, we're going to dominate the league? Do you think we were going to, like, this is it, Jose's arrived? You know, as the expression says, you man got touched.
No, I didn't get ahead of myself when it came to the league at that point, but I just feel like it was a needed result. I feel like the time we played you before that, I think you guys beat us, didn't you? Yeah, and that was a horrible day. That's all I was thinking of when that happened, because, you know, Jose playing his ex-club, he was always going to have, you know, that extra firepower, especially the way it got left. So, yeah, I was just happy. I feel like we got our revenge. I mean, you guys are yet to try and get yours now.
Yeah. Listen, that's why I'm gutted, because gutted we didn't beat City, because I think revenge would have been brilliant if we beat you in a final. That's the only way that would get over it, because 6-1, you know. You guys spelt Man United, MANUTD, in goals. Like, that hurt. Like, that really pained me. Like, I was saying to the man, I was like, yo, we just got beat of Tottenham 6-1. Like,
and
this
just the fact it was at Old Trafford as well. I mean, we haven't got... Actually, I think the last time I went to Old Trafford, we beat you, actually. That was another game. That was the... what was it? Was it 3-0 or 3-1? Lucas scored 2.
Lucas scored 2. Yeah. When Lucas scored 2 and Harry Kane, was it a header? I think he scored 2.
So. Yeah, but obviously, other than that, our record at Old Trafford just isn't great. So, you know, the fact it was, you know, at your ground, and our record speaking for itself, and the opinions on Jose being so divided within the fan base, I think it was just a great day for everyone. So,
I love how you say that calmly, showing the Colgate lights. Like, yeah, great day for everyone. So, okay, Jose Mourinho, listen, before you go in, right, I'm just going to say this. I respect the guy because he's a winner, okay? And do you know what I love about him? He basically, Pep plays how he plays. Other managers play how they want to play. But he's like, I'm going to win this way. And it's proven, okay? But I think if you take him, you have to accept the circus, the media, everything that comes with him. And one most important thing, I think you need to back him. Do you know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on Jose so far, before you got him and now?
I'm a big Jose Mourinho fan. I always have been. I think he's great. But on the football aspect side of it, I think Levy was looking at Jose for a while. I think we all knew he was a fan of him. And I think Jose said some things when he talked about Tottenham when he was being a pundit, it sounded like he was, you know, quite fond of us. I was surprised when we got him, but I was over the moon about it. There is the conversation to be had about the style of football he plays. You know, we got very adapted to quite attractive football when we had Poch, so it was kind of quite a shock factor, even though we know how Jose plays. To just see us go straight into it, it had that shock factor. However, I'm just at this point as a Tottenham fan, like, I don't care how big the line. So, and that's why I respect, that's why I respect Jose Mourinho, because, you know, as everyone knows, he's a serial winner. He's won a trophy at every been at since.
Exactly.
So it's, you know, a matter of, but the thing is, Tottenham's also got our big curse of not winning anything. Jose's got his gift of winning. So, you know, it's like the scales, like, which is going to...
As Harris Rafiki says, 13-year trophy drought. That's a long time, boy. Hey.
Listen.
What, you were 10? You were, what, 10, 9 years old when you last won a trophy? Raw.
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
I was about 11, I think. Yeah.
I felt that. Jeez.
If we got the League Cup over the line, I'm celebrating like it's the league. I'm telling you from now, with no shame. No shame.
The thing is, do you know what? I respect that, because if you win a trophy, man and girl can't tell me nothing. You understand? I'm cigars out, Papi Chulo hat on. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you can't talk to me. And I think, all biased aside, I actually do want Tottenham to win the cup final, because I do like Jose Mourinho, and I think you guys are thirsty. Do you know what I mean? You guys need a good drink, championship winning drink. You know what I mean? Just win a cup. Just, you know what I mean? You know what? Yeah, you know those ones when you're at school and you need to share your sweets, but you don't want to share your sweets with a certain person because you don't like them. Then you feel bad for them, so you give them the best sweet out of the Haribo packet, like the love heart. Like, all right, go on. That's it. That's what I see Spurs like. Just take the League Cup. Just take the League Cup, and you know what I mean. Go on your way. But I think to conclude on them, I think it'll be huge if you guys do win it, because I think why I'm unhappy is because the League Cup, okay, it could be a Mickey Mouse Cup, whatever. It's still a cup. and it brings momentum. It keeps going. I know the cup final is in April now, due to the pile up and stuff. But however, you're winning a trophy. You're in the final. Them man are starving. But yeah, so what's your thoughts on it? I mean, tell me, what do you see for Tottenham now under Jose, and what do you want to happen besides the obvious?
I'll be honest. I don't think we'll be challenging for the league. I'll be honest.
Even though the way the season's going?
I don't think.
Really? Why? What makes you say that?
I just feel like there's too many rookie errors from this team, such as a main one we've been guilty of for years, the way we defend our set pieces. It's got to the point I wouldn't be surprised if teams were playing to get set pieces because they know they're going to score from it. But things like that, we can't be challenging for the league until we pack it up. When we went through this recent streak of us, not getting the wins, it was down to individual errors, very rookie errors. It was down to our defensive set pieces, constantly just conceding from them. And I just think until we pack that up, we won't be challenging from it. I'm looking at the Europa League, in all honesty. That's what I want to win this season. So hoping we can get that one over the line. You guys are in that one, aren't you?
Which one? Europa. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not even thinking about that right now because it still makes me sad that we're out of the Champions League. But hey, we moved. Do you know what I mean? We moved. I've got to ask you one question. Just a bit of fun. Who is your favourite Tottenham player?
My favourite Tottenham player is actually Pogba.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's it, right? Am I doing it right? Yeah. Right. Okay. Besides the obvious, and I'm thinking the obvious. Why?
Say that again.
Why is he your favourite player?
I just feel like I'm probably blinded by his debut in complete honesty. Yeah, I think he's still very young. The Premier League is not the Eredivisie, but I think he, can bring something. I feel like, okay, other than Son, a lot of the other attacking options we have slow down play a lot. I feel like Lamela takes a lot of time on the ball, unnecessarily long time on the ball. Even Ali, when he was playing, I feel like he's just running in slow motion. And
who's that? Dele Alli? Who's that?
Yeah, I don't know. Who is that?
I thought it was you hungry? You want me to get you something? All right, someone get the girl Dele or something. Shout out Matt, Football United TV. But yeah, no, carry on, Mel, carry on.
But he's a player. I think I'm more kind of banking on potential here. But I think he can bring something, special to this attack if he sorts out his shooting. Sometimes I feel like he's a confidence player and he's someone that when he does get a chance, he tries to over-impress Jose, so he'll over-hit shots. He'll be a bit too, aggressive in his shooting. However, I will be shameless. Absolutely. But yeah, what I feel like once he sorts out, he gets a bit more clinical, he knows how to get into the right spots. He runs into the right spaces, timely runs. He makes some great passes. I can't remember what game it was recently, but he was getting robbed of assists. He was putting some great balls in.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's annoying, isn't it, for some wide players or creative players? You put it on a plate for someone, and it's not even about finishing your dinner. You guys can't even get there, or even just hit the target or something. So no, I hear you on that. I must admit though, the man's got serious guams. He's got some nice drip. Hey, I watched the All for Nothing. See when he came in that tracksuit, I was like, hey, I'm feeling that. Seriously, I'm feeling the tracksuit.
And this is something I feel like Tottenham has been starving of for years. I feel like English Brexit team, but it's nice to see, so many players come in and, just add something, add a bit of culture to the club. It's nice to see.
100%, no, and I agree with that because I was like, man's got the drip, and man's always got fresh trim. One thing that I always look at footballers and be like, if you cannot look at after your hairstyle, I'm not taking you serious as a person, because that's your face. Look, I can't talk right now because of lockdown, but I'm trying. But as a footballer, you have access to everything. Come on, man. Last thing on Spurs before we move on to the next topic, okay? Gareth Bale. Okay.
I knew I wasn't going to like this question.
Is he a football player or is he a golfer? I mean, the people need to know, Mel, because I think I've seen him on a golf course more than I've seen him on a football pitch.
Why can't he be both?
I mean, you tell me. I mean, I just think, was it a good signing? Was it a shrewd signing? Was it a smart signing? Or were Tottenham the only club that wanted him?
I feel like Bale was brought in for, honestly, well, a lot of it being commercial value.
Okay.
The shirt sales, Levy was probably thinking of the shirt sales he was going to get from that, and he just saw pound signs in his eyes. I mean, he's not wrong for it. A lot of people did go out and buy their Bale shirts. But I think a lot of people were blinded by the sentimental value of it. You know, so many people were waiting for that day that he was going to come home. But if we're being completely honest, you know, he hadn't really played regular football in 2 years.
True.
And you can still see, like, he's slowly but surely, he looks like he's getting a bit more up to speed. But if we're being honest, he hasn't really, you know, he hasn't contributed much.
He scored that header, didn't he? Scored that header.
Yeah. I think he'll be a player that will contribute here and there. But I feel like where people's patience are running low with other players, you know, such as Bergwijn and that, I feel like maybe the sentimental value of Bale is allowing people to, you know, say he deserved a bit of time, give him a bit of a play, you know, because of who he is for Tottenham. But I just saw a rumour over the last hour or so that apparently we're not looking to keep him till the next season.
Oh, really?
I won't be too upset by it. You know, it was nice to see him come back, but I mean, for the price and that.
I mean, it's good for FIFA 21. People that play FIFA, innit? Spurs fans, you lot can put Bale in the lineup, innit? Hit it from 30 plus yards and that, I suppose. All right, cool. Just out of curiosity, are you a PlayStation or an Xbox?
No, not really. I only recently just got a PlayStation, and I've just been playing around on a bit of GTA and COD, but.
No, nice one. That was just out of interest, just out of interest. All right, big up to Paulus, man. Thanks for coming through, bro. That's the bro. Strip Bear, how you doing? Thank you for coming through. Man, like Matt, Football United, thank you so much. Right, okay, so next topic here. Racism in sport. Actually, do you know what? Before we get into that, I saw a comment. Ndombele, in Bad Boy Ndombele, that's what expression says, or Paul Pogba, and why?
It's hard, yeah, because I'm going to be completely honest, yeah. Talent-wise, Pogba. But what Ndombele brings to this squad that we've really, really been missing, especially since the Ndombele departure. So in terms of application, I'm saying Ndombele.
Do you know what? I'm Pogba FC in it. Like, see Pogba, just the panache, the swag. Just, you know when you said about a culture to your club? You know when I see Pogba dancing, I don't get offended. I'm like, that's what I do. Do you know what I mean?
Branding in his own entity.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Pogba's just in his own little world and he's just happy. But no, look, right now, Ndombele is playing more consistent games, isn't he? So, you know, I think they're both talented. Like Pogba is probably this generation's dream of talent to play centre midfield. Tall, athletic, power, speed. Do you know what I mean? Just everything, silky, trickery. You know, he's like 6'2", 6'3", and what he can do with a ball. Yet he lacks the attitude, or maybe not attitude, maybe the consistency. He lacks the consistency of, say, a Ronaldo or a Messi. So I'm going to pick Pogba over Ndombele, though.
Can I ask a question here? This is more just about the United fan base as a whole. When it comes to like Pogba, do you feel like a lot of United fans kind of ride more off his Juventus days than what he's actually done at United?
Do you know what?
As well,
if you know football, and in fact, you know what? Let me start again. because everyone's got an opinion on football, and I respect that, and that's why we love football, right? You know, in my opinion, I think I watched the Italian league, and Mel, I'm going to be honest with you, yeah. If me or you played in midfield with Pirlo and Marquisio, me and you are badding up the league. Do you know what I mean? Like that, because the way I see it is this: like, did they need Pogba to win the league? No, because they've continued on doing that without him, and they were doing it before him. What Pogba is guilty of is his generation. He's probably one of the best footballers. Okay, he has talent and stuff, and he looks like the player, doesn't he? You just look at him, and he says, "Yeah, I play football." You're like, "Yeah, I can tell." I just think that yes, people do. However, Pogba, it's a bit of a 50-50 thing because he doesn't do himself any justice sometimes with the stuff he does. But when he does play football and you see him zip that ball, or he just turns a guy with a Zizou turn, you're just like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like Vavavoom, oh, terrifique, oh, Bella. Do you know what I mean? Stuff, and you're like, oh my goodness, you know? Yeah. So to answer your question, I think it's a bit of both. Because he has played some really good games for us. And it will be, this is the way I sum it up, yeah? If he leaves Man United and he hasn't won the league with us, his whole duration has been a flop. Because you can't be Paul Pogba, okay, and not win us the league or not win the league title
at a club like Man United as well.
Exactly, and that's how I'll sum that up. And that's right. And I love him. Look, he's my favorite player. I love him more than Bruno. Do you know? But that's the way I sum it up because I just think that if you win us the league and you leave, I'll drive you myself to the airport. I'm like, bro, respect you. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? But yeah. But that's how I feel on that. Okay, cool. Well, obviously 42 minutes in, guys. Please make sure if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please make sure you like the video as well. Pogba easily my man is a World Cup winner and Ndombele has a poster above him. He probably does, to be honest. That's all I'm gonna say. Pogba, AJV1, thanks for the comment, man. Pogba's been back 5 years. Man United still don't know what to do. Do you know what? I'm going to quickly touch on this, Mel. Pogba should be playing on the left of a 3 in midfield. Okay. He tells you, or you can play him in the 10, or you just play him in an attacking role, or you build a team around him, and so on and so on. And this is my opinion. People say it doesn't work and stuff, but I tell you this, yeah, Mel. If I'm signing you, yeah, from Juventus, and I say to you, we're going to get this player, we're going to get that player, then you come and you look forward, you see Andres Pereira, Jesse Lingard. Do you know what I mean? So my guy's been sold steak. He's not even got a kebab. Do you know what I mean? do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So that's what I say on that. Martinelli is back. Listen, Oba and Charlotte, thanks for the comment, mate. But we only talk about big clubs on this channel. So respect to you, my friend, and Happy New Year. But thank you for watching. I hope you're watching, my friend. Nah, listen, I'm joking. Arsenal, listen, back in the day, Arsenal was a good rivalry for us, but North London's looking, lily white right now. So, yeah. So listen, 43 minutes in, Mel, and I appreciate, coming on. I hope you're having a good time. There's racism in football and there's racism in the world, unfortunately. It's really sad, that 2021, we're still having these same conversations, these same problems and stuff. And I say to people, equality is funny, isn't it? It's an interesting thing, equality. Mm-hmm. We all want to be treated the same. That's it. We just want to be treated the same. And I'm going to put you in here. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Yes, you're female. Yes, you're mixed. Okay. That's a double whammy. What people might not understand what I mean by that is that you're already being judged because you're female, and you're already being judged because you're not fully white British. That's what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on that?
It's interesting because I said something about this on Twitter the other week in regards to no, actually, sorry, this was in my blog about the girls I was on the podcast with when I used to be on the Gold Diggers. You know, I was talking in more reference to them, but you know, it's one thing being a woman and having sexist trolls. It's another being a black woman getting the racism.
100%. 100%.
In complete honesty, I think on a wider scale, if I weren't so vocal about my ethnic background in regards to, you know, my minority side, I don't think I'd get half the trolls. As what I said about, you know, a lot of people thinking, I think I look quite ambiguous. Like I've had people think, you know, I'm Asian. I've had people think I'm white. Most people think I'm white. I've had people think...
I can't see that. Maybe it's because I'm black and I know culture, right? But see, when I looked at you and I looked at you, I'm like, yeah, you're not white. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
to me, when I look at myself, I think I look non-white, especially, funny enough, well, I'm wearing makeup right now, but without makeup, I actually look a lot more Asian. But a lot of people do think I'm white. And I feel like if I wasn't so vocal about my background, a lot of people would just run with it, you know? But I'm not going to silence, you know, my own culture just for your comfort and to avoid getting certain comments. You know,
I love that. All
the people calling me a chick. Me personally, I don't even think I've got, you know, the typical Asian monolid, you know, slanted eyes. But people just call me it because they know that I'm from one of those countries.
It's lazy though, isn't it? It's laziness. It's as discriminatory as racism. It's lazy. It's just it's poisonous, isn't it? It's tough to eradicate stuff like that, and it's funny, isn't it? That like I'll tell you a quick story about like I meet up with the Labour Party in Edinburgh with the councillors and stuff, and I asked them a question. I said, you know, what do you do for the BAME community or the community that are visible ethnic like me and you and so on, right? And you know, they said, oh, we're trying to do stuff, but you know, we don't really have that much to go by. So I said to them, when you go home and you don't want to cook, you order a takeaway, yeah? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what do you order? Oh, Chinese, Indian, Pakistan, Caribbean, African, Thai. And I'm like, all from Edinburgh. And they're like, yeah. And I said to them, who do you think makes these foods? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So we are aware of these people. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you?
I feel like I'm sure you can relate to this, you know, as a black man. I can relate to this in terms of being Asian. So a lot of people, they'll love aspects from a culture. They'll love food. They'll love fashion. They'll like to embody maybe the way they speak. That's more in regards to, you know, the black community.
Yeah.
Like, bring on people's slang and way of speaking. You know, you like people's music. Me from an Asian perspective, there are girls that walk around in kimonos, a lot of girls that do that, and these oriental type dresses that look Pretty Little Thing are selling now. Girls will, well, not even just girls, a lot of non-Asian people will eat Chinese on a weekend. When you see artists in music videos, you know, you'll see girls with chopsticks in their hairs, and you love to romanticize Asian culture. You love watching anime. Do you get the drift?
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm with you on this.
Relate to that as a black man when it comes to your music, the way you guys speak, fashion. But then you don't want, it's like you love the aspects of a culture, but you don't like the people. You don't like what comes with it, you know? And especially when, and that's, I mean, I'm not going to speak bad on any, you know, party, but you'll all eat that kind of food. But where's the respect for the people itself? And this is a conversation I had when Son was getting racially abused in football. I already think racism against Asians is already normalized as it is. It's something people don't really see as that deep, you know, and Son has been getting racist abuse by rival fans. There's a few incidents that circled round of a West Ham fan on traffic and on DVDs. So it's like, you lot love so much. This is more of a general statement rather than individuals, but it's like, you love the Asian culture, how you treat the people, you know, and
Mel, God bless you. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, so when you call up for a takeaway, hi, how you doing? Can I get so? Can you make so? But keep that energy for when you walk past them or when you're in their company, and it has been normalized, and it's I fucking hate it. I do. I hate racism to anyone. Like being a black man living in Scotland, a white man's country that's, when I say white man, I mean it's dominated by the white race. Okay, there are black people now, loads of black people, and do you know what? One thing about Edinburgh, it's so culturalized. There's so many different aspects. I've got a friend who is the head of the East Asian and South Asian community. Yeah. Oh, we got peoples up here, man. We got peoples up here. Her name's Kimmy, and like we talk a lot, and like she's doing a lot for her community, and we are represented up here, and I hate it. I really do. It makes me sad because I think we're gonna have children. We're gonna meet people. You're gonna interact. You're gonna engage. You're gonna socialize, and it's like, how can we be at nursery not know one difference, but when we get older, do you see a difference? You know what I mean? I don't understand that, man.
This is what annoys me about people. You know, a lot of people, when it comes to racism and having certain discussions, they'll say, you know, this happened, get over it, you know, chip on your shoulder, this happened, that long ago. But people don't realize, okay, maybe, you know, the way things, the same problems still exist today. You know, it may have happened so long ago, but those ideologies have been fed throughout generation and generation and generation, even down to little microaggressions, like black women having their hair in braids, or, you know, having their natural, you know, afro hair out, and it's seen as unprofessional. But when a non-girl does it, it's something trendy. You know, this is, okay, relating it to my culture, any girl that's not Asian that has slanted eyes, it's something romanticized, it's something sexy. You know, they like to call themselves Ling Ling and stuff like that because of their eyes. They get complimented for it, when the whole of the Asian community is an abusing point for us. You know, so it's easy.
Wasn't there like I don't know if it's an influencer or a celeb that was like hyping up that thing, her to make your eyes look like that and stuff, and everyone was like, "Oh, I want to get done." And I think when I was growing up, you didn't like these people. My friends that were from the Asian community, you didn't like them. Now what? Some of you are trying to get there. And I go back to school, and I laugh. Yeah, when I was at school, secondary school, I saw people mocked me for my lips, mocked me for my skin color. I saw Asian girls being mocked for being hairier than the normal girl. If that was the normal girl, just being hairier, dark features and stuff with their eyebrows and stuff. And I think to myself, I saw black girls being degraded because they had bums, big bums and stuff. Now, fast forward 15, 16 years, people are getting their lips done. People are doing their eyebrows.
Yeah.
People are trying to get bum implants. People are injecting themselves for darker skin color. And it's what you said. It's like, when it's fashionable, it's okay.
Yeah.
But you won't swap the lives of these people. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I still struggle to understand racist people, because I think you call Pakistanis what they're the P word, you call black people the N word, you call Asian people the C word. Yet when you go on your some holidays, all you want to do is get as dark as these people.
That's it.
You know, and I struggle sometimes, and that's what I'm working on. I'm working on in my position at work to fight for equality, campaign for it, because we need society to be represented, and everyone's society is completely different. Yes, but it's all representative. I walk down the street, I know I'll see different kinds of races, just like you. So why are we not represented and stuff? I just think, what is your final thoughts on it? Where do you think this goes? What do you think we have to do?
This is quite a pessimistic thought, but
hey, listen, we're on the Bitz and Bobz. Come on, let it all out.
I don't think racism will ever be eradicated from society.
I
think
agree with you.
that's way too deeply rooted to the point a lot of the time it's unconscious. A lot of people don't even realize why they think when a black girl shouts, she's being aggressive and ghetto. When a white girl or just anyone that's not black, okay, Latina, I'm going to use an example. When a Latina girl shouts, it's something sexy. You know, a lot of people don't realize their thought process behind that. So
do you know what? Pause there. Did you watch Power?
No.
Okay, so Power, yeah, I watched Power, and the black man was with a black woman, and he had an affair with a Latina. And I remember watching social media go absolutely crazy.
Is this Angie?
And Angela, that's it. Angela, yeah. Well, he called her Angie, yeah.
Yeah.
And people went absolute crazy. They're like, why are they doing this? Blah, blah, why can't they? But I'm just like, really? Like, are we so, do you know what I mean? Are we so in tune? Sorry, carry on. Sorry to cut you off. It's just that I thought that, you know?
It's hard because, as I said, when it comes to racism getting to a point of unconsciousness, you know, you've got the people that are very overt about it, like you said, Donald Trump. You've got people that are very microaggressional about it, or it's an unconscious bias they don't realize they have. So from when people don't realize they have it, they're not going to be open, you know, to change. There's a lot of people that think seeing more people of color, I know the people of color term is quite controversial, but I'm just using it for lack of a better term here.
Listen, that's just how we're explaining it. You know, we're not here to offend anyone. We're here to educate and learn. So, do you know what I mean? Keep going.
Yeah, when we see more people of color or even women in a term of gender in these spaces, people think it's too much. You know, Alex Scott getting her job, it's, you know, oh, they've just hired her because they just want to fill a quota. They just want to fill, you know, diversity. Like, are we ever going to have any white people left kind of thing? I see a lot of, you know, takes like that. And I just think, are you that used to not having, you know, people of color and different ethnic backgrounds in your spaces that seeing a few pundits of a different, you know, race or gender is too much for you, you know? And that's what I talk about, it being so deeply ingrained. You're so used to constantly seeing, you know, white pundits on your TV. As soon as Alex Scott steps in, oh, it's just to fill a diversity quota, you know?
Yo, Alex Scott is entertaining. She's entertaining. And this is one thing about, it's an old slave mentality. We can entertain you, let them entertain us, but they won't be on our level. Actually, listen, you know, we have skills just like you. We are equal to you. We bleed the same blood. And do you know what? Actually, some of us are more entertaining. Micah Richards, Alex Scott. I think Alex Scott is funny when she does her expressions, and you know, and she's so on to the point. She speaks more sense than some of these male guys. And you know, I know what you're talking about when they changed the Soccer Saturday stuff and they brought on more diversity. It's like, wow, are you that triggered? Because people like Sky are trying to get with the times, we're trying to be relevant. You know, look at Chunks in Philly. Do you know what I mean? That would never have happened. Could you imagine that? Like, do you know, a black Ant and Dec, basically, you know? That's what I was seeing. Or they're just the black Ant and Dec involved. And I was like, wow, really? You can't just give them their own stage, their own turn. You always have to compare that. It's sad, and I agree with you. I'm not naive. Racism will never die. However, we need to keep fighting. If we change the minds, we change the attitudes. And I 100% believe that. And I'm very fortunate that I work with so many people in Scotland who have the same passion. And I'm glad now I've met you, and we have the same passion, and we're going to keep talking about it and normalizing these conversations. Because if you don't speak about it, it doesn't get hard. So individually we are strong, but together we're stronger. Now you're talking about it. I'm talking about it. I hope many people that watch this speak to their colleagues, speak to their family members, speak to whoever, the group chats, you know, and ask people to educate them on that, you know. The amount of people last year that were like messaging me like, Bobby, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Is this really what it's like for you? I said to my best friend, one of my best friends, right, who's white, he was talking about going abroad. Where was it? I can't remember where. Say it was like flipping Germany. It was not even Germany, but say it was somewhere Far East, whatever. Not even Far East. Actually, where was it? It was not Cape Verde. It was one of the Canary Islands, right? Mm-hmm. And I said to him, I was like, oh, what's the racism like that there? And he just looked at me. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, well...
Sorry.
She tried to be sly by giving me a cup out and she tripped.
Oh, no.
What's it called? She just put me off there. Basically, I said, oh, what's the racism like? He said, what do you mean? I was like, well, I'm not going to go there for racism. And he looked at me and said, I've never ever thought of that. And I was like, exactly. Mm-hmm. And like that's what white privilege is. You don't have to think about stuff like that. And when I say white privilege, I'm not saying you're privileged, high, nor no. What I'm saying is that you are less likely to be a target of something, of discrimination.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people, you know, when we talk about white privilege, they will come with the rhetoric of, but I was a poor child, blah, blah, blah. No one's saying that's not true. There are, you know, poor white communities and people that go through their own hardships. But what it points, that you know, the key word white here is white privilege is just, we're not saying you just have a privileged life in general, but you have a privilege above people of other races. There's certain struggles you will never have. Yes, I am. But there's something you will not have to go through, as in before you visit a country.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I had that with my friend where I wanted to go to Poland to visit Auschwitz, and she looked at me like, Poland? And then it struck me. I said, oh yeah, you could be treated a certain way out there. And I think people just need to be, there are some people that are happy to be educated and listen. There are some people that are just on the defense. You know, I think they have this deep rooted entitlement in them. They're not used to having to sit down and just shut up to someone else and listen, you know, and you've just got to, you know, take it for what it is. Some people that want to be educated.
100%. And the thing about, see, being about educated, right? This is how I broke it down to some people when I had a meeting. I said to them this. I was like, do you wear Nike and Adidas? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I said Adidas or Adidas. I don't know however people pronounce it and stuff. If you want a trainer, what do you do? Or I go on their shop, their website, find my size, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Go through the whole thing and then you buy it. So that's 5 minutes of your time, if that, okay? Let's keep the same energy when it comes to racism and education. If you can be on your phone and go through online shopping, you can do whatever. Amazon, I'm sure they made a lot of money in 2020 anyway for everyone. But like, if you can find out information on that, why can you not find out information about racism? Speak to your friends that's Black, Asian, white, East Asians, whatever, and just find out information.
Even then, sometimes I could imagine, especially, you know, in the Black community, sometimes you just get tired of having to repeat yourself. You know, it's nice you can speak to your friends about it, but sometimes go and look yourself, educate yourself. Google is free. Nowadays, with the internet, you can find anything, you know.
Exactly. Everyone's got a smartphone. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has a smartphone. And this is what I'm saying, is that we need to be more stronger as an individual. But okay, I want to find out. The same way you want to find out if Little Pretty Miss Thing, whatever it's called, has your size in flipping kimonos or whatever, caminos, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, go and find out, because the more people like that, and I have to say, I've met so many people like that. That's what gives me hope and think like, yeah, you know, we are onto something. This conversation is going to be normalized. You know, you've got women like Charlotte in the comments. You know, she's a white female Chelsea fan, but you know, she's still cool. And she's popping off in the comments. You know, equality and stuff, and it's like Charlotte probably knows just as much of football as me. do you know what I mean? And like, what am I going to try and degrade her because she's female? No, I'm like, let's keep the energy. And I just hope you do get tired sometimes, and I can see in some of your expressions when I've asked you something. you've been like, and I'm grateful that you have answered and spoke your mind, because, like I said to you on the phone, I want to normalize these conversations. I want people to watch the way people watch for the football content, which is brilliant, of course. And I think we need to normalize these conversations. I mean, I have been to Poland and I received loads of racial. I didn't even get served. I got told not to go to certain areas. Do you know what I mean? So it's stuff like that. And do you know, when I first moved to Scotland, there was some places I didn't go because I know I'd be lynched. People would try and chase me and stuff like that, and that's sad. And we have big up Robbie. we have got better, 100%. You know, my uncle is the very first black professor to be in Scotland.
Wow.
And this was in 1989. And I speak with him once a week, and he's a knighthood. Like, he's been knighted, Sir Geoffrey Palmer. And he says to me, the place is now better compared to when he grew up in Scotland. And I was just like, wow. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, but it's still a mess. But he says, it's still better.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, isn't it? Which is crazy. And he said to me, but I need you to keep going to make it better for the next generation. Do you know what I mean? And that stuck with me.
That hits different, you know, especially when you're a parent yourself. You know, I am someone who wants to use my platform to, you know, get people to be a bit more educated about Asian struggles, especially the stuff we've been going through due to the coronavirus. And me having, my daughter is also mixed race like me. However, my daughter is mixed race with black. So I have a responsibility, not only raising a child, you know, into this world, I'm raising a black woman, you know. So I would feel like if I didn't use my platform to speak out about certain things and at least try to make it a better place for her, you know, what your dad said, you know, it's still a mess, but it's a lot better than what I grew up. I'm never going to be, you know, able to eradicate racism alone. You're not going to be able to do it alone, but we've got to take those steps for those future generations, you know.
100%. And God bless you, because I hope people that are watching now and people that watch it back, and like your followers obviously see, you know, and I hope they've got to know you a bit more better, you know. As you use the saying that, like, you know, you've looked beneath the surface, you know, you've talked about things beneath the surface, you know, and that's what I'm trying to do, Mel. You know, this is what Bits and Bobs is about to talk to people, get to know them, and talk about relevant things, you know, about actually what's going on when you step outside, everyday things that we as ethnics come across, you know. And also, we don't even have to put it towards the racism. We as people, because as a woman and as a man, we have different problems, you know, and that's just the way it is. And like, it's how we normalize talking about coping with them, how we can eradicate them, and also how we can deal with them. That's it for me. Just before we go, wrap up, Mel, is there anything you'd like to ask me before we wrap up? This is part I hate. I'm just like, oh, here we go.
Wait, firstly, actually, I've been wondering, what country are you from?
So,
I know you mentioned African, but what country?
Yeah, so I was born in Nigeria.
Okay.
I was born in Nigeria, and I moved to London when I was like 2 years old, and then moved to Scotland when I was like 10. So I grew up in Southeast London, Waterloo Soldier. Pew, pew, pew. So you'd have caught me in Bricky, you'd have caught me in Southwark, you'd have caught me in Croydon, those areas when I come back home. And obviously Essex, as big as Essex is. I have an uncle that lives in Whitney, Oxford, that kind of area. So when I go to London, it's like a tour. Like, seriously, when I go to London, I've got so many people I need to reach. So yeah, and then obviously obviously Scotland, hence the accent. So.
What would you say the differences are? So you said you lived in London from in regards to, you know, your ethnic background.
Yeah.
What are the is between London and Scotland?
I'd say, excuse me, when I was growing up, that's where the accent is from. You slide devil. When I was growing up, I hated living in Scotland because it wasn't home. It was all these white people. And I was thinking, I remember saying to my dad when I went to play for Rangers in my first game, I said to him, like, Dad, where's the black people? Where's the Asians? Like, what's going on? And like, where I lived in London, my next door neighbor on the left was from Korea. My right neighbor was from China. Across the houses from me was Jamaican, and it was East African. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, I had everything, you know, and obviously, you know, London, when you go market, I used to go Elephant and Castle, right? And Peckham, yeah, and like, you know, you go through every kind of cuisine, everyone. Do you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's home. And then I come to Scotland, and it's like, rah, boy, like, do you not know something about seasonings? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's the hot sauce? Where's the stew? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And it was tough. It was tough because mentally, I was in Scotland for a reason, and to adapt was so tough. And I missed London so bad, so bad. That's why I used to go every time: Christmas, summer, Easter, school holidays, October, and that. But as I got older, you know, I start seeing some of my friends in London, bad things happen to them, you know. Like, some done really well, look, some of them have done brilliant. Some are managers at NHS, there's executives at Deloitte, PE teachers, rappers, you know. I've got some friends that are rappers down there. But other stuff, the bad stuff that you see, you know, when London went through the tough time of post-Cold Wars, just stabbings, you know, that's when I thought, yeah, actually, do you know what? I'm better off in Scotland because it was safer, you know. Now, yeah, it is my home, obviously, 100%. However, you know, when you go home, it's like, let me go chicken shop, and then when you eat that chicken, you go, boss man, can I get number 6? And I'm like, yeah, and I step out the shop, and I'm like, I breathe in the air that's like all polluted and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm home. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's a bit of a mix for me. But would I move there now? No, I wouldn't. Would I come back and visit? Easily, happily. You know. But then, you know, it's a good question actually. No one's ever asked me that. It's made me really think. I just think that growing up was tough to adapt, and now I've adapted. I go back and I love it every time I'm there. I just smile, you know. Even like when you hear the police sirens, you're just like, uh-oh. And instead of running, you run towards the trouble to see what's happening, blah, blah. And then nothing beats going Elephant and Castle, or when you go a rave or Westwood rave, and you get a kebab or you get jerk chicken and stuff like that. Because they don't really do jerk chicken in here. Like, there's so many foods I miss. Seriously. I've had to learn how to cook it myself now. Because, you know, I've missed it. Have you ever been to Scotland?
No, I haven't. Never.
No. Listen. We will pattern something up. You and your daughter need to come and visit. Seriously. Because you listen, you'll love it. It's funny. Everyone always loved Scotland. They're like, oh, Scotland's amazing. And I'm just like, it's all right. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Any last question before we wrap up?
What made you want to do, you know, a YouTube and talk about a very, you know, wide range of topics?
Okay, so the people I work for, I'm the first black leader of the BAME network, and 2020 George Floyd, may he rest in peace. You know, he triggered something in me. I have a son, and I oh my god, I was angry. I was just like, why do people treat us like this? Why do they hate us so bad, you know? And people that I grew up with were being hella racist on social media, and I looked at my son and I was like, I need to do something. I'm like, I need to start talking about this. I need to, get something out there. And, I used to be an MC. I used to be a host. I used to open up concerts and stuff. So talking wasn't a problem for me to an audience. Was just making sure it got out there.
Yeah.
And then I done a podcast with like politicians and heads of departments and stuff, police officers. And then I thought, do you know what? I want to talk about football as well. So I mixed the two, and I got Bitz and Bobz meets whoever I'm interviewing. And for that interview, I just thought, I don't just want to, and this is no disrespect to all the football channels out there, or the fan channels, because I respect and salute every one of them for what they do. For me, it was like, everyone wants to be different and stuff. And I wasn't just trying to be different. I want to be honest. And when I say honest, I mean, talk about what's actually going on. Like, and as a black man, I can say that because I've been a victim of it, Mel. Racism, discrimination. I've been a victim of being treated completely different, and obviously lockdown, you see a lot of stuff. You're more on your phone, on social media. You see all the casual racism languages, and I'm like, and then I read something in June after the BLM protest. Some people some people have always not liked black people. They just like you. And that stuck with me.
What's that? Sorry, it cut out.
So basically, I read that some people just don't like black people; they just like you, and that stuck with me. So I thought, no, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna use the platform, use what I've got to be like, look, a change. We have to stop this. We have to change. And I dare say, I want my son, Bobby Jr., to be able to not to worry about this. And that's why I started it, to be honest. And I'm very fortunate because I've made so many friends. I've met so many cool people, I had a great, what's supposed to be a 5-minute chat with you where we're on the phone for an hour. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. So yeah, that's why I done it.
Oh, that's amazing. It's always so amazing hearing, the stories behind something, what triggered someone to do something. I mean, it wasn't a great thing that triggered you to do what you did at all. That was a horrendous thing. But, the movement that's come for it, there's a lot of people that have football channels and then they just touch on other stuff, which is great. Everyone speaking is a great thing. It's better than not, but, to dedicate your whole channel to have conversations, no matter how uncomfortable they may be for maybe people of a certain dysphoria that may feel guilty or have some sort of, shame. It's amazing. And I really think you need to keep up the fight.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. And you know what? That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
What?
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Listen, everyone.
Comment.
Listen, guys, that's been episode 17 of Bitz and Bobz meets Mel, aka Sabios TV. I hope everyone has engaged, learned, listened, and hopefully you shared. And please like. And Sabios, tell them where they can find you social media wise.
So I am on Twitter, Instagram, and my YouTube at Sabios TV. So catch me on that. I took a little bit of break from making football content, but hopefully soon I will be back up and running. And I have no doubt I will probably play your timeline again with something. So
definitely, I hope so. I hope you come back. 2021 is gonna be your year, 100%, 100%. Listen, guys, peace and Prime. So Prime knows, man. My little boy's at football training. And so Prime sees all the pictures and stuff. That's my little bro. Love to you, man. But listen, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Peace and love to you all. Mel, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.